Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This week I wanted to talk about my Disney College Program phone interview because it seems like a lot of you guys actually enjoyed my previous video of me talking about, the application process, so I figured I could go in a little more depth about the phone interview process. So, let's talk Disney. Start, I just want to say that the phone interview is going to be very different for each person. I mean, anywhere from who is calling you to what might show up on your phone, to the times, to the days, to the questions you get asked. It's all very different, but I'm just going to be talking about my personal experience. So first off, after the web-based interview, you get an email sending you directly to the phone interview process kind of thing where you have to sign up and pick a date, pick a time. So for my dates, I believe I was given the option of 3 or 4. Once again, this was actually a month or 2 ago. This was actually 2 months ago. So I'm kind of trying to remember exactly what it was, but I think it was 3 or 4 days to choose from. And this didn't include weekends, so I think I passed everything on a Friday and was given the options for, or actually I passed everything on a Thursday and was given the options for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I took Wednesday as my day, and my time was, I believe, 10:30. Now, they can call you 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after your scheduled interview time, so I recommend leaving like an hour slot, and generally the interview takes about a half an hour. It might take more, or well, not more, it usually doesn't, but it might take a little less than that, but generally it's about a half an hour. It really depends on what time of day yours is and what your questions are and maybe how you're answering them. For me, my interview, I want to say only lasted like 15 minutes. Like, it was not long at all, which frightened me because I was like, oh no, maybe they don't want me, but that wasn't the case at all. So definitely don't freak out depending on the length of yours. But from then, I scheduled a time, and then the day of my phone interview, I just did some stress relief things. I actually had bubble wrap for some reason. So I popped bubble wrap to kind of like calm me down. So I recommend like putting on Disney music, which I did as well. Just keeping yourself kind of occupied and not thinking too much about it. However, before your interview, I do recommend that you do study up a little bit. Don't overstudy. I overstudied, and I really wish I would have listened to those people that said not to, because I feel like it did freak me out a bit, because one of the questions that a lot of people get asked is, why do you want to do the Disney College Program, or something around that, and I didn't get that question at all. Nothing related to it. So really, the questions you get are going to depend on your recruiter and who you are on the phone with, but you kind of just have to go with the flow, and I just recommend looking up general questions. You can Google it. Just find tons of different questions that you could be asked, and just know that you could get asked them, and think a little bit about your answers. But definitely when you're doing your interview, if you need like a small cheat sheet in front of you, that's fine. I had a small cheat sheet for specific questions that I thought they might ask, and you might want to have like your top 5 roles at the top, things like that. Any questions you might want to ask them, just like a small piece of paper to kind of have general information, but don't have like a notebook that like you're flipping through and like reading off a script, because they can tell and they don't want that. So yeah, just try to not overstudy, but study enough that you feel prepared. So back to the day of. So like I said, for me, putting on Disney music really helped calm me down. So that might be something that works for you. Maybe you like silence, and that's kind of what you want. No matter what, I would recommend being someplace that is very quiet and someplace that isn't going to be too distracting, just because you are going to be on the phone with this recruiter and you are going to want to be focused So for the time that I picked, one of my roommates was home, the other was not, and I let my roommate know, like, hey, here's the situation. They could call any time within this hour, so just, I'm gonna keep my door shut and just don't bother me until I come out, kind of thing. So just make sure everybody around you knows. I've heard of people doing it like in between classes, and I wouldn't recommend that, just because even if you have a long break, I can't imagine me sitting on campus on the phone with like a recruiter with all these people around me, all these distractions. I can't imagine doing that. So personally, I wanted to be in my own home waiting for that call, which is exactly what I did. I didn't have class like 2 hours after my interview, and I didn't have any classes before. So it was pretty much get up, get ready for the interview, take the interview, get lunch, go to class. So I would recommend, if that works for you, that maybe that's something you would think about. The times, I believe, ranged from like 8 to maybe 9, 8:30 or 9 at night. I don't know, somewhere around there. And as the day goes on, I'm sure the interview or the recruiters probably, you know, get a lot of the same answers. So that was another reason for me doing a morning, is because I feel like when you get them fresh and ready to go in the morning, it's kind of easier probably on both ends. So as I stated before, my phone call came in 15 minutes after it was supposed to, and I was having a heart attack, because even though you know that they call 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after, it is still very nerve-wracking because you just don't know. And I had Pandora playing in the background, so I shut that off because I was wondering if that might interfere. I think my phone even glitched at one point and it gave me a heart attack. Now, they did call, and when they call, two things might pop up. Buena Vista might actually pop up. For me, that is what popped up, but I hear a lot of people saying it might come up as a blocked call. So if it is a blocked call, answer it. You know who it is. But, so they called, I answered, and I'm not sure what my recruiter's name was. I can't remember now, but at the time I knew, and I do recommend that you write it on the top of your paper. So if your interviewer's name is Emily, write at the top of your paper, so at the end of the interview you can say, well, thank you so much for your time, Emily. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Like, kind of use their name, because they're very big on names. So to see that you actually took the time to remember their name is going to be a huge deal. So I did that, and I wrote my my recruiter's name. Once again, it was a while back. I don't remember what it was now, but so I answered the phone. She was very nice. There was a bit of static, which was freaking me out because I was like afraid like it would be a dropped call, but I made it through the interview. So the beginning, they kind of just go over like, are you aware of the Disney look? Would you be fine with complying to the Disney look? Do you have any tattoos? Do you have any piercings? Is this your school information? Is this correct? Are you applying to Disney World? If you got into Disney like World, would you bring a car? Things like that. Just general information they want to make sure is all correct. And then after that, they explain to you that they're going to ask you just a few questions about general things. And thinking back, I cannot remember all the questions I got, but I do know that they were very much role-based questions. So she asked me what my top, I don't even think she asked me what my top roles were, because she had the sheet saying what I was interested in. So she asked, she saw that I had quick service, and she said, would you be comfortable with doing this, 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 and that? You say yes, or you say no, but I mean, obviously I said yes, because I put that down as one. And then she might ask, okay, for merchandise, would you be comfortable doing this, this, and that? She did a lot of that for me. And she also did questions about character integrity. I'm pretty sure that was one of my questions about, you know, if Mickey Mouse had to leave, what would you do to explain why he was leaving? And obviously you come up with like a cute creative answer, like he had to go visit Minnie or something like that. They might ask you questions about pricings, like if there is a bag of chips that costs 50 cents and someone wants 3 of them and they hand you a $10 bill, like how much change do you give them? Just things like that, that generally give them an idea if you are good for that role or not. Another question I was asked was, because of your or tell me about your previous work experience, and then a follow-up to that was, what roles can you see yourself in based off of that, what you just described to me? So like, what jobs do you think would best fit you, and things like that. She also saw that I was interested in character performers, so she asked if I was going to a character audition, and I told her yes, I was going to be at the New York audition, which is actually this coming Monday, which I'm super excited and nervous about, so I will definitely let you guys know how that goes and my experience on that. But she said all right, and she said she'd sign me up, so I'm not sure if she actually signed me up or not, but pretty sure she did. So she said she'd sign me up for that, and generally she just asked me very job related questions that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting more of the, so what do you love about Disney? Why do you want to do this? If a kid were having a bad day, how would you fix it? Something that I could show like my character in, like questions that actually show character and show like your Disney side. But really she didn't ask me many of those questions. She just asked like role-based questions, which was fine, and I was prepared for them. It's just not what I was expecting. So that's a reason I say don't overstudy, is because you really don't know what they're going to give you. Another tip is to smile all the time. I smiled through my whole interview, and I definitely think it made a difference, because especially when being asked questions like, what was your previous job experience? If you say, well, at my job I sit in front of a computer, versus, well, at my job I sit in front of a computer. Like, when you smile, it just sounds so much better. So definitely smile. And at the end of my interview, she asked me if I had any questions, and I had a question about my hair because it's kind of dyed, and I didn't know if this subtle ombre would be an issue. She said to send in pictures. And then I also asked her if there was any way to request a park. She told me she could write something down for me, but there was no guarantee that I would get it. And then the last question I asked her was if she did the program and if she had any advice, and she did give me some great advice. So just try to like ask questions that show them that you're interested in more than just running around the parks, that you're really interested in this experience and you want everything out of it that you can possibly get. And definitely ask a question, because if you don't ask a question, that kind of, I don't know, I feel like it throws off your chances some. So just make sure to ask a question. So that was the end of my interview, and overall I would say it was a really pleasant experience. My recruiter was super nice, and it was a very relaxed interview, nothing to freak out over. And yeah, obviously from my last video I did make it in. So I'm super excited to be going, and I hope that if you guys are thinking about applying or have applied and haven't had your interview, or who have even had their interview, I hope this was very informational for you guys and very helpful. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!